Welcome to GFN Gaming. I'm Russ, and in today's game we are once again working through the narrative campaign on Tier 7. Following on from the last game, we have the Blooded going up against the Gellerpox infected. A big thanks from me for watching along. Please comment, like and share the video. It all helps the channel, and if you'd like to do more, please consider joining the Patreon. Everything from there goes back into the channel to upgrade equipment and semi-justify getting new models. We are on episode 16 of the campaign now, which is X many hours of playing and about that times a million in editing, and I'm really pleased with how it is as a series. I do have a recap video that takes you up to episode 8, I think. However, for the views, I'd probably suggest you just watch all the episodes instead to get a proper recap. Thanks. If you've finished all the episodes, you can, rewatch them again. Or may I recommend Kill Team Casuals, a casual podcast all about wrestling, swinging, and Kill Team. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this campaign that we've been putting out, and let's dive right back in with episode 16, Hunt for the Lost Reliquary.
Previously, the civil war on Tier 7 spills out across the Ventress system. Spurred on by the psychic machinations of a patriarch, the Gene-Stealer cults battle against the Imperium in the center of the system, whilst Space Marine forces clash with Hive ships at the system's fringes, and a demonic incursion plagues the planets surrounding Tier 7. As the Space Marines of the Angel's Wrath battle forces in space, and Grey Knights wage a war in the war, we journey back to the center of this current turmoil, looking to reclaim a lost reliquary and investigate a missing patrol close to Central Command. Sister Argenta leads a team, above inquisitorial suspicion, into the dark sector of the Hab blocks. Well?
Signal still coming in strong. Straight ahead, sister.
Very good. Shall we?
Darvel squad. Scouting maneuvers. Yuri, move ahead of us. Nice and quiet.
Aye, Sergeant.
These Hab blocks, they're not very,
Spit it out, Darcel.
well, they're not very inhabited, are they?
Sterling observation, Darcel. There's that famed Catachan eye for detail at work, eh? Indeed. There are no civilians. And now with the squad of battle sisters going dark, we've put this off for far too long. Emperor knows what's lurking here.
You know what, Argenta?
Sergeant, come in.
To be continued, Darcel.
What is it, Yuri?
Got some movement ahead of my position.
Is it the sister squad? Have you made contact?
No, Sergeant. I don't think so. If it was, it definitely isn't anymore. Looks like mutants, Sergeant.
Copy that. Stand by.
Aye, Sergeant.
What are your orders, Sister Superior?
My orders, Sergeant. We are here to reclaim the reliquary. My orders are simple. Purge the mutants.
Straightforward, then. Yuri, can you get a read on their numbers?
Just 3 so far, Sergeant. They look like civilians.
Stay put, Yuri. We'll come to you.
Aye, Sergeant.
We'll push ahead and clear the area, sister. Doesn't look like it'll take too long. What the drog? Yuri, come in. Come in, Yuri. Hold on, brother. Coming to your position. What the drog? Open fire. All weapons.
In today's game, we'll be playing Secure on a custom board. Operatives can perform the Secure mission action to secure an objective. In this mission, the objective is considered to be the entire square shown here, and victory points will be awarded at the end of each turning point, and players will get 1 victory point for each objective they currently have secured. TAC Ops are in play, and the Gellerpox have secure central line, central control, and tech infection, their own faction TAC Op. And no surprise, the Blooded can only take Seek and Destroy, so have ended up with Rob and Ransack, Executioner, and Eliminate Guards. Due to the smaller board side and dense terrain, only 1 barricade is placed, and Eliminate Guards has been opened up slightly to allow any objective to be selected, not just those on the center line or in the opponent's territory. We're playing using the Critical Ops mission pack, so teams will deploy in 3 alternating groups. That's the deployment finish, so we'll look at the team, starting with the Gellerpox. They have the 4 Hulks, the 3 Mutants, the 4 Glitchlings, and their equipment operatives are going to be 4 Sludge Grubs. The Blooded have a few more options. They've gone for the Plasma Leader, a Plasma and Melter Gunner, the Butcher, the Flenser, the Thug, the Trench Sweeper, Corpseman, Brimstone Grenadier, and Commsman, and from the second squad they have the Enforcer and the Ogren. Those are the teams, so let's get into the game. Across the kill zone, through the fog of war, the Catachan Blooded team can see the monstrous outlines of these huge mutants. These men are from Catachan though, and it will take more than mutants to unsettle their nerve. The disgusting creatures stare at the jungle fighters, and they stare right back. Hearts thumping in anticipation, blood pumping, ready for the action. The mutants are huge, but it's not like the jungle fighters aren't. As the opposing forces face off against one another, a sweltering heat haze suddenly clouds the troopers' sight. As it clears, they see the lines of Gellerpox closer, surging forward towards the enemies almost unconsciously. The monsters ahead of them bark out in delight. Whatever part of them that once was human, lost now forever to the madness of their new gods of blight and decay. Scuttling into action, 2 Glitchlings race onto objectives to secure their positions. Keeping his Ogren ally on a steady yet unstable regiment of experimental steroids to boost his durability, Doc, sensing the trouble to come, adds more strain to Meat Slab's thumping heart, injecting a potent mix of Tyranid genes to increase the boot's melee skills before darting forward into cover. Back to the Gellerpox, and a mutant shuffles forward to claim the center of the kill zone. As it does, yet another on the far flank lopes forward, closing in on the Catachan's lines. The Thug moves onto the objective and secures it, looking to take up a forward position against the oncoming mutants. One of the smaller, disgusting creatures crawls over to an objective, vomiting up great waves of a liquid that briefly pulses before seeping into the rock creek below, and a disgusting stench now permeates the air around the objective. Another of the glitching creatures races towards the tower in its territory. Looking to set himself up on a vantage point, Plasma Gunner Navarich clambers onto the rooftops and props his gun on the ledge, scanning ahead. From the corner of the kill zone, he spies 2 disgusting sludge grubs slither forward, but is unable to get a shot off with the intervening terrain, and he spits out a curse in low Gothic. Commsman Olet sends a blitz of telemetry data to Darcel, boosting his activations, and hunkers down in the building ahead. A bestial cry briefly startles the Catachan squad, sending their minds racing back to their death world home of Catachan, where even the ground tries to kill you. They hear the crash of heavy footfalls towards them. Olitz opens up squad comms.
If it works, we can drop it.
Harmon races forward, hefting his melter gun, but is unable to target the bloat spawn. Taking his frustrations out on a nearby sludge grub, he aims the melter gun and fires. Nothing remains. Sensing the demise of their kin, 2 more sludge grubs slither forward towards the Catachan lines. With his mind on the mission, the trench sweeper locks his shield in place and moves to secure the objective ahead of him. With a blood-curdling wail, the flesh screamer races up the kill zone. Heart still thumping wildly in his chest, Meat Slab the Ogren stumbles forward on unsteady legs as the cocktail of experimental steroids course through his body. The last of the mutants move forward as Darcel himself takes action. Boosted by the Commsman, Darcel races within pistol range of the Flesh Screamer, allowing the plasma pistol to supercharge as he moves and fires point blank at the monster ahead of him. The pistol explodes in his grip, but his shot still hits home. However, the resilient beast is barely even wounded. Back to the Gellerpox, and the Lumberghast races forward to claim the center of the kill zone. Looking to spot for the plasma gunner, Enforcer Volodarski jumps up to the vantage point next to him. At last, the leader of this mutinous horde makes its move. Volgrar, thrice cursed, crashes through the kill zone towards the Catachan lines. Pyregut fires flash and crack in time with the huge mutants' raking breaths. With no more moves for the Gellerpox, the Catachan blooded take their positions. Both the Butcher and the Flenser take up counter-charging positions ready for the coming combat, and the Brimstone Grenadier holds back, checking his munition pack to make sure the Diabolic Bomb is ready. Closing in on the Catachan fighters, the hulks of the Gellerpox make themselves ready for the coming combat. In the close confines of the Hablock streets, it's only a matter of time. Can the Catachan forces survive? We're at the end of the first turn now, so let's have a look at what's happened. The Gellerpox has unsurprisingly raced forward towards the Blooded, leaving a few operatives back to secure objectives, hemming the Blooded in a little bit. The Gellerpox have 2, as do the Blooded, so that's 2 victory points for both teams. Tech Infection is being played with 1 objective infected, needing 3 for a victory point, so the scores at the end of the first turn are 2 each as we move into the second turn. At the start of turn 2, and the Gellerpox once again surge towards an objective. The Blooded are looking to ensure a kill on the Bloatspawn and issue the Glory Kill ploy through the squad comms, giving all operatives a reroll when attacking it. Moving on to the TAC Ops, and as the Gellerpox have the initiative, they declare first and they reveal central control. The Blooded then reveal eliminate guards and target the Bloatspawn, utilizing the expanded rule this mission has for eliminate guards, and the Gellerpox reveal secure center line. The Blooded finally reveal executioner, choosing the Ogryn against again the Bloatspawn. Crashing through and over operatives, the Lumberghast barges through the Catachan lines, charging its spiked body straight into the Brimstone Grenadier and the Butcher. Damaging both operatives with its spiked charge, the Mutant Hulk then raises its Mutant Claw and crushes the Grenadier into a pulp as the operative frantically reaches for the Diabolic Bomb in vain. Able to target the Bloatspawn now, Harmon moves forward and fires with his melter gun into the creature's back. It's a brutal volley, but the beast is resilient, and it weathers the barrage with worrying ease. As the melter gun burns chunks from the Bloatspawn, the vulgar thrice cursed races towards Darcel and the trench sweeper, pyre guts crackling with anticipation. A torrent of demonic fire saturates the area, melting skin from bones, and Darcel is incapacitated. However, the trench sweeper brings his shield up in time and survives the inferno. Being so resilient, Navarich aims his plasma gun at the Bloatspawn, looking to wound the beast further so that Meatslab, the Ogryn, can dispatch it without being injured, and he fires. It's a solid hit, and the beast is indeed injured. Spurred into action by the constant assault, the Bloatspawn lashes out with its mutant tentacles, leaving the gunner injured but still alive. After lashing out with its tentacles, it charges into the gunner, crashing into the wall nearby as it staggers towards the gunner on now shaky legs. Looking to complete his executioner target, Meatslab the Ogryn charges into the injured Bloatspawn. Smothered under an avalanche of muscle, the Bloatspawn is ripped apart by the juiced-up Ogryn as the melter gunner looks on at the harrowing scene of the Bloatspawn's demise. With 2 targets so close to each other, this nearby sludge grub slithers forward to spit acid at the Ogryn. Moving in tandem with its kin, another sludge grub repositions and spits acid at the thug, protecting the objective. Moving forward, the corpseman issues a stim to the Ogryn, bringing him back up to full health. Another objective is infected by one of the glitchlings, who then darts away from the approaching enemies as another one claims the objective on the tower. In the confusion, the plasma gunner quickly reloads to take another unsanctioned shot, this time at Thrice Cursed, overcharging his plasma gun and firing down from the balcony, but the huge mutant shrugs off the illegal shot, as 2 more glitchlings race to secure the center of the kill zone. Enforcer Volodarsky leans back to fire his bolt pistol into the Lumberghast, unable to truly puncture the thick hide of the mutant before shouting out an order for the plasma gunner to once again fire an overwatch onto the mutant leader. Another of the Gellerpox mutant races towards the center of the kill zone as another one charges into the thug holding the objective. The combat is brutal and quick. Despite charging, the thug is able to fend off the mutant's attack and takes it out of action with a well-placed swing of his club. Looking to get rid of the mutant now deep in their lines, the thug, unlikely to survive combat, charges into the lumberghast, looking to inflict some damage before ultimately being crushed by the huge mutant's claws. Back to the Gellerpox, and another of the mutants lumber towards the central line of the kill zone. Commsman Olitz breaks from his cover to boost the plasma gunner, but now is out in the open. The last of the sludge grubs steadily slither towards the Catachan lines, and the Butcher braces himself for combat against the lumberghast. Already injured from the charge of the Hulk, the Butcher is no match for the mutant and falls in combat. Now out in the open, the Flesh Screamer breaks from cover and charges into the Commsman, giant cleaver raised above its head, ready to be brought down in one lopping blow. Leaping out of the way, the Commsman survives the attack, but only just. Looking to thin the lines of the Gellerpox, the Flenser stalks forward and charges into a sludge grub, dispatching it with ease. Now an overwatch, the thrice cursed smiles at the trench sweeper ahead of it with 3 mouths as a conflagration of demonic flames engulfs the Catachan operative and burns him to cinders on the objective. And with that kill, we are at the end of turn 2, so let's have a quick recap at what's happened. The Blooded have pushed forward on the left side with the Gellerpox and in particular their Hulks breaking through the Blooded lines in the center and on the right. The Blooded got 2 victory points for killing the Bloatspawn for Executioner and Eliminate Guards. And at the end of the turn, the Gellerpox will score 2 victory points for Secure Central Line and Central Control. Looking at the mission objectives now, and both teams still have only secured 2 objectives each, both scoring 2 victory points at the end of the turn. So as we move into the all-important Turning Point 3, the scores are still tied at 6 points each to the Gellerpox infected and Blooded. Whatever happens, it's probably going to be another bloody turn. Let's move into turn 3. The Blooded send a message to the squad comms to target the mutant leader. And specifically, Meat Slab the Ogryn starts mean-mugging a glitchling ahead of him, eyes lock, and Meat Slab starts breathing heavy. To ensure the leader kill, the Blooded issue a glory kill on it. But the Gellerpox have the initiative, so they'll be going first. Unchecked, the Lumberghast clambers onto the vantage point with a spiked charge, attacking both the Plasma Gunner and the Enforcer in a frightening onslaught that leaves both operatives incapacitated. It's a brutal start to the turn as the Lumberghast destroys the back lines of the Catachan forces. Looking to stay on mission, Harmon races forward with his melter gun to take a shot at the mutant leader. It's a devastating volley from an injured Harmon, but under the gaze of the gods he's able to make the kill. Terrified by the attention it's getting from the Ogryn, this glitchling races away towards its deployment zone, and up on the tower another glitchling, ripping off a chunk of its flesh, scatters it to the floor to infect the area as it also secures the objective. Trying to stay on mission, the corpseman races to the objective to secure it. Yuri the Flenser crouches low, blades ready as a mutant howls a war cry and crashes into him. His knives slash and dance over the mutant's flesh, but he's battered down by the unrelenting attack of the mutant and incapacitated. Another mutant activates, taking the center of the kill zone. Meat Slab can't take it any longer. He barrels into the nearest glitchling, confusing it for his intended target, and crushes the poor creature beneath his boots. His eyes flash up from the crumpled mess on the floor, seeking his next target to destroy. Slowly, the Flesh Screamer raises his cleaver above his head. Eyes lock on the commsman, his head tilts suddenly to the side, inhumanly, and the cleaver falls, crashing into the ground next to Olitz. Another close call. Withdrawing from combat, he races onto the objective as another sludge grub moves forward to target the gunner with its acid breath. Quickly shrugging off his flak jacket as the acid burns through, Harmon is left unarmored and injured, surrounded by mutants. Some might even call it a holiday for the Catachan veteran. Another sludge grub moves forward as Harmon squeezes off a shot in Overwatch before he is charged by a glitchling in the center of the kill zone. Harmon swings wildly at the creature as it dances around him, unwilling to engage. And that's the end of turn 3, so let's have a quick recap at what's happened. There's been heavy losses for the Blooded, but they have taken down their target for Eliminate Guards for 1 victory point. The Gellerpox have managed to score both central control and secure center line for the second time, maxing both of these TAC ops for 2 victory points. They have now infected 3 objectives as well, scoring 1 victory point for tech infection. In terms of objectives, though, the Blooded have now secured 3 to the Gellerpox's 2, taking the lead in the primary, and they did score 1 victory point during the turn for Rob and Ransack with the Ogren. However, Gellerpox are ahead on the TAC op, which brings it back to an 11-all draw as we go into turn 4. The Catachan Blooded finally get the drop on the Gellerpox, and the Commsman is able to instruct Meat Slab the Ogren to execute the Glitchling. Wasting no time, Meat Slab then crashes into the unsuspecting creature, crushing it to death under the stomping boots of the enraged Ogren. After the Blooded, the Gellerpox moves. Still stalking the Commsman, the Flesh Screamer slowly walks towards the operative, once again raising its cleaver high to dispatch the operative in one lopping blow. The cleaver comes down with a crash, missing the Commsman entirely as Olitz dives out of the way. Enraged with a frightening onslaught, the monster attacks again in a flurry this time. He lands a strike, but the Commsman is able to survive the onslaught. Harmon wields his melter gun like a bat and caves in the Glitchling's head before wheeling around to fire at the approaching mutant. Miraculously, the mutant survives the blast, groaning as limbs fall off it, but it still stands. He's got nothing left to give as Harmon is rushed by the mutants. He's too tired to even lift his gun as he is finally taken out of action by the mutants. More mutants move in around Harmon's corpse, securing the objective he had been holding all this time. The Doc races forward to engage a sludge grub in combat, taking it out of action with ease. As it falls, it balloons up and explodes, showering the Doc in acid, but he lives. Hearing the explosion, a sludge grub moves instinctively towards the sound as Olitz the Commsman races away from the Flesh Screamer, failing to see the Glitchling that falls from the tower to throw its diseased effluence at him, but fails to hit, so he continues running. And that is the end of the 4th and final turning point, so let's have a look at what's happened. There's not a lot left standing, but the Ogren Meat Slab is amongst them, and so they will max out Rob and Ransack, getting another victory point. The Gellerpox still have only infected 3 objectives for 1 victory point for tech infection, but they have tied up the mission points, scoring 3 mission points to the Blooded 2 this turn, meaning the primary score is a tie 9 each, with the Blooded taking the victory on TAC ops, maxing out all 3 for a 1-point lead at the end of turn 4. So that's it, the Catachan Blooded have won the mission by 1 victory point.
Darcel, status report.
We've pushed them back for now, but we'll be overrun if we try to stay.
Very good. I'm narrowing in on the reliquary's locator beacon now, Sergeant. Prepare your men for a fighting retreat.
Copy that. All leads.
Sergeant.
Open up the squad comms and get an ammo check.
Aye.
Yuri, find me a way out of this hole. Try the parking complex. Looks like there's a route up to the main intersection.
Aye, Sergeant.
Darcel,
Sister, have you found your relics?
in a way,
How do you mean?
There's quite a bit more than just a reliquary this squad was transporting.
Okay, you're being overly cryptic, sister.
We are outside Central Control's comms encryptor field, Sergeant. There's no telling who might be listening in.
No one's listening, Argenta.
Still, I've called in a transport. Have your squad relocate to my position for pickup. Over and out. Well, this certainly evens the odds.
If you've made it this far, a huge thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Everything you do does help the channel and help me make these videos. And a huge thanks to my patrons who do more than that, who help keep everything going. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video.